All right, excuse me. Stretch my neck out. Michigan runs all over Penn State 41-17 at the big house now. And earlier in that broadcast, I forget who was in the booth, but he was saying this was at Happy Valley. Could have went the other way early on. And it could have. Momentum is, home field advantage and momentum is something that's super duper crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it can completely go um it can completely go a whole different way. Real talk, it can. It can completely go a whole different way, man. And but this team is young. Um, Offensive line and defensive line. I mean, that's Big Ten football. Even when I was growing up, I mean, Wisconsin used to produce great offensive linemen. Iowa still do. Michigan is back on track. Um, that's just what um that's just what it is. That's just what it is. That's just what they, what we did, and this is classic Big Ten football. Classic. Hat on the hat. We're gonna run power football. And what you gonna do about it? That's what it is. What you gonna do about it? Ain't nothing you can do about it. And we're gonna run all over you. That's what it was today. Blake Corum, they say he put 20 pounds of muscle. He put it right where you're supposed to put it at in his lower body, and it's showing. More durable, breaking more tackles, running tougher, speed still there. And that's what college is about. It's just not about the growth physically. It's the growth of young men and young women, teenagers, growing into, adults. That's what it's about. It's about teenagers growing into adults. That's exactly what the maturation process is about. Teenagers growing into adults. So, um, but today they didn't get off to the best start. They scored back to back field goals, stalled in the red zone, and right now it's looking like they're missing that starting tight end. I forget his name. Uh, they missing him, and he's a real athletic kid. I forget his name. The Shoemaker dude. I don't know. I'm butchered his name. He's solid, but they missing him to tight end, and I like to see them kind of get the backs involved in the screen game a little bit more. I seen they try to do it to Donovan Edwards early on. I think it was a third down, second drive. They had the football and they tried to do it like a little, outside screen to him, and McCarthy missed him. They said McCarthy had a torn labrum. He kind of recovering, and he when he throw, he feel pain in his arm because he not using the proper mechanics. When you use proper mechanics, his arm is good. So they went up like 6-0. Defense got a huge stop. They got a really huge stop, man, and Penn State, came back and they run like a little quarterback keeper to Clifford. He ran for 63 yards. He ended up getting it in for 7. They capitalized. McCarthy threw the ball, got tipped. It was a pick 6, kind of a fluke play, and they went up 14-0. So basically on a little like semi trick play with Clifford running 63 yards, and then tip pass. Michigan after the interception, they came back, scored a field goal. Late. They scored a touchdown too, but ended up coming back, finally getting in there, scoring a field goal. You're going up 16-14 right before the half. Penn State had all the momentum. Like I said, if they was at home, maybe that momentum would have would have followed them into, second half, and then maybe Michigan possibly could have been in a dogfight or possibly lost. But nonetheless, Donovan Edwards, stud. Blake Corum, probably the best player in the country right now. I know a lot of people say CJ Stroud. My issue with CJ Stroud, real quick, and I'm gonna keep watching him. He plays superior against the lesser opponents. When they play the upper echelon opponents, he don't tend to show up like that. I'm just being honest. I mean, even when he played Notre Dame this year, even though they're not a good program right now, He struggled in that game. I don't care if he had Njigba or not. He struggled in that game. So I mean, Blake Corum showing up regardless. And I ain't knocking nobody. You want to say Bryce Young? You want to say Ewers down there in Texas who plays some good football? Especially before the injury. No arguing. But I mean, look at this man numbers, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. Excuse my language. But they're really missing the tight end. The receivers got to step up. I know Bill came off a major injury, but that's the only thing they're missing is a not real number one receiver. If the tight end able to come back healthy, I think they should do a couple. They should do a lot of two tight end sets with the other big fella. But Harbaugh got to get better playmakers at the receiver spot. And it's a cause for concern for a lot of people with the receivers. People say, what happened when you stop the run game? Guess what? In order to stop that run game, you're going to have to commit 8-9 people to the box. So now the receivers got some one-on-ones, and if they can't win those one-on-ones, then we really do got a problem. So then what it boils down to, then you have to start designing plays to get them free and get separation. That's what it boils down to. Bunches, motions, all types of stuff. So then that's when your play designing becomes critical. But going into coming out of half, Edwards breaks off that that long run, great blocking. I mean, you have the guard pulling, and I think maybe the tackle kicked out there as well too. And I believe the guard sealed the inside, the tackle sealed the outside, whoever it was, and he got upfield. He cut back up. I mean, everybody did their job. The line and the backs are in complete sync. Even McCarthy ran the ball late in the game. They completely in sync. They clicking on all cylinders. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can have an offensive line and it's not clicking with the back. He don't know his line. He don't know when to hit it, when to be patient. They bumping into each other. So this comes with years of camaraderie, snaps, reps, all that, and they clicking. They clicking. They really, really clicking on all cylinders. So then Blake Corum, I believe, come back. He get a long run, touchdown, and this is the fifth best run defense in football, in college football, Division I. Michigan had 300 yards with 7 minutes and 31 seconds to go in the third quarter. And think about that for a minute. Ended up with 418 yards rushing. Donovan Edwards led the team with 16 carries, 173 yards, 2 TDs. Then Corum, 28 carries, 166 yards, 2 TDs. McCarthy, 7 carries, 57 yards. CJ Stokes, 4 carries, 22 yards. He had a longer 12. So, I mean, you gonna do? Pick your poison? It's a little bit different with McCarthy there. Now, I think teams gonna have to start letting McCarthy beat them, and that's gonna be the next evolution for McCarthy and the receivers and the offensive coordinator. They're gonna have to find ways to get more out of the backs in the receiving game. Hopefully, get the star tight end back. But they're gonna have to find where to get more out of the receivers. But to stop the run game, people gonna have to commit to the box. The Michigan receivers showed they can beat you deep. So when they start committing to the box, then Michigan gonna have one-on-one opportunities, and with those one-on-one opportunities, they can't win. Michigan won't be a player in the end. Where's Ohio State or any other state, they won't be players. So defense is good. DBs seem to be better than they have been in the past, but you got to understand the past, especially with the defense coordinator used to call a lot of blitzes. You got to understand he called a lot of blitzes, bro. So you leaving them guys one-on-one on the islands, damn near impossible. So if they pick up the blitz, they ask us cash, grass, So something to think about real quick, but yeah, Mike Morris. Oh my God, dude. You just imagine him in a Lions uniform. Just imagine him in a uniform. So that's the Lions is spooky. Greg was saying, well, man, we get Blake Corum on the Lions. I'm not going to do that to Blake Corum. I don't want to do that to that man. But yeah, I mean, defensively, man, Michigan's front. I mean, all of them, they clicking. Defensive coordinator, basically Harbaugh basically probably put the name out of hat last year, and he went with McDonald. but now I went back to Baltimore for whatever reason it is, and they suck. They defense suck right now, but they got a lot of guys. Jimmy Smith retired. A lot of guys was coming back off of major injuries and they veterans and stuff. But he had it good at Michigan. But they went with the guy who went to Vanderbilt. The one that they passed on, brought him back, and he might be even better. You know what I'm saying? He might be even better at defensive coordinator. So I mean, right now they clicking. You're going to play Michigan State next week. Um, play Michigan State next week, and it's a stretch. It's a stretch. Because then you go Michigan State, Rutgers played us pretty tight. Was it last year, year after last? Nebraska program up in the air. I believe Illinois might have won today. I could be wrong. Yeah, they lost today. They lost to Minnesota. So yeah, they lost to Minnesota. They won't be ranked. So I mean, it's a stretch. Michigan State is Michigan State. We got a week off next week. Lions had a week off this week. Michigan got a week off next week. Michigan State will have to get ready to play Wisconsin. So it's always a game that you never blink on, bro. I don't care what Michigan State record is. They had a lot of success, especially they head coach with with Jim Harbaugh. So I don't take this matchup for granted. This is one of the games that this will make their season, even if they don't win another game, it's beat Michigan. So we'll see. We'll see. But if it's ever a game for JG McCarthy to break out, it's this game. But if they can't stop the run and they don't commit more resources to stopping the run, then just keep doing what you're doing. It's like playing Madden. I'm gonna keep running the same fucking plays over and over again until you stop them. It's not called cheese. It's called being smart. So let me know what you girls and guys think. Big win by Michigan today over Penn State. And they head to a showdown pretty soon with Michigan State, and hopefully, them and Ohio State going to Columbus. So they got some work to do in the passing game. I think at the point we at the point where they got to start making contingency plans with the passing game. And if that's getting the backs involved in arrow routes, if that's getting them involved in circles, more screens, more wheel routes outside the numbers. If that's getting involved, get that tight end back healthy. That's getting him involved. The Wilson guy in the slot, that's doing some Wells Welker, Julian Edelman type of things with him in the slot. If it's bunching them up, moving them, lining them off the formation, if it's scheming them to get open, I think we at that point where they got to start scheming them to get open. But check out the College Sports Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance of notifications. We go live and drop video. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Don't forget, check out my main channel right here on YouTube, Goodfella TV, for more sports, music, news, and entertainment. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. Mercy Sports Talk. Peace.